So with our handsome Mr. K, nice shake off, sir. I know it's a bit mushy today, so all the beauties have been sadly getting a bit wet going out in the rain to go to the restroom. Oh my goodness, chewing. So for Mr. K, we're gonna warm up a couple little find its, and then from there I wanna work a little bit with his recall. So Kugel, come. Yes, nice job. So I know we've mentioned a little bit with recall rules on Tuesday with our other little guy, Mr. Finley. So come. Yes, nice job. Excuse me. So find it. So a lot of times the benefit of working some find its, and even if you don't get to magically throw out that recall slogan, remember that you can still feed for the reorientation to you from the environment. Mr. K didn't see that one, so already find it. So the benefit of this again, Kugel, come, is you can start to build in this lovely association with his name, but also coming when called as having value. Ready? Find it. There we go. Kugel, come. Yes. So remember, if your babe can do, let's say, an amazing, let's say 10 to 15 recalls, make sure you're not always doing that many every time. So again, find it. Right here, Kugel, come. So if let's say your babe can do a splendid 20 recalls, maybe one day you do 3. Another time, maybe you try for 7. But if it's always the same amount every time, it might turn into almost like recall boot camp. Kugel, come. And he may not love working it to that extent. So make sure, again, training sessions are easy enough for him to have it be attainable. Yes. And even if I didn't get to say again his name and the come right there, he was still getting reinforced for coming into my space. So again, find it. He doesn't seem to see them on that side. He's like, lady, I like it when you throw the cheese better. Ready? Find it. So sometimes some of the snacks do blend really nice with the floor. Nice job. So you may find that depending on the environment you're working in or the color of your snacks, that some of them kind of go hiding a little bit, and then they'd have to use their sniffer versus their eyeballs. Nice. But right here, I'm feeding Mr. K for any time he comes into my space. Ready? Find it. And then from there, I might go, Kugel, come. Yes. So remember that in the beginning, we want to be very much so like the Coke or the snack machine. So every time we put in our dollar, we expect to get our snack or some sort of thing from that machine. If we keep putting in our dollars and they keep getting eaten and nothing comes out, we get really frustrated and we don't want to go to that machine again. So for right now, make sure that when you're practicing, you're very much so like the Coke or the snack machine. If we get some excitement, I'm just going to ignore. He chose to sit, so I'm going to feed for all 4 on the floor. Remember that sometimes your puppies are not trying to be naughty, or most of the time they're not trying. They just happen to by accident give us behaviors we don't really love. So always think to yourself, could my dog be a little excited? Nice. Oh, he's so close to catching that one. Could my dog's physical or mental needs not be reached yet? So sometimes could there be confusion? Also, if there's some anxiety or some big feelings, jumping can sometimes be part of the equation. So don't, again, find that the babes have to get scolded for making a mistake, because as I mentioned earlier, like with Mr. Z, not that that's what, again, everybody's doing, but a lot of times we tend to think behavior we don't like, we want to apply a no to it. Kugel, come. So right now, right there, beautiful. He was a bit distracted because one of our little ladies is out and about on her own side over here with the fencing. But he was like, oh my gosh, she looks really entertaining. He went over towards the fence to kind of do a little, hey, how are ya? And then I was able to have him bounce back. Oh my gosh, chewing. But we don't want to scold behavior we don't like. Think instead, redirect or replace or prevent the rehearsal in the first place. So if you know when company's coming over, we could start off our dog in a different part of the home, behind a baby gate, maybe use gear like your leash and your harness in the home front, and then show your dog what you'd prefer. So Kugel, come. Oh, he says, hold on, I almost lost it. There we go, good boy, ready? He says, lady, I'm coming, I'm on my way. Good job. So we'll give them a little break from some of these lovely recalls, or even just in general reorientation to me from the environment. And maybe we'll work a little bit with staying near my side and kind of keep working a little bit with this loose leash walking. I know he's not on equipment right now, so we can also go from there into that lovely front. He's like, yes, delicious. And then maybe from there, we want to work him into the side or finish position. If he's never done it, I take my food and I lure him and I feed him for being by the leg. So again, if he finds that it was a little bit weird, we could go ahead and start walking. If he does some jumping jelly bean moments, I'm going to ignore. And then I'm going to feed the handsome guy when he's got all 4 feet on the ground. So right here, nice. Ready? So remember, he could just be very excitable. He gets into a little bit of a jumping moment. Ignore or help him pick the better skill. Nice. Also make sure that we're sometimes capturing those moments where he may not understand the skill completely, but you feed for the beginning stages of it. So if let's say loose leash walking is kind of right now on either side, but he's not pulling or he's not yanking on equipment, I would say that's a really good starting point. Ready? Front. Nice, very pretty. So now from this side, so you can see a little bit better, to bring him into the side or finish, I lure him with the food and then set him up next to the side of my body. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful dance move you've ever done, but the main goal is that, again, you're just helping them get back to the side so you could continue on your way with some more loose leash walking. So ready? Nice. Good job. Nice. So remember, it could be also approximations. So getting soft and nearby could still have value versus being like in the perfect heel position. So right here, nice. Because we just want to have softness and some attention throughout the game. Ready, friend? He's like, Lydia, I'm starving. So if he goes and he's a little eager beaver, remember, just feed for the moments you'd prefer and just help him out. So right here, very nice. He's doing a very good job. Right here, yes. So remember too that the value of the food is going to be very important too, because remember that's almost like your paycheck. There's different varieties when it comes to those denominations for quality for the pups, just like our money denomination. So there could be moments where that is part of the process, but then also your rate of reinforcement. So I know I harp on this often because a lot of times to get your dogs to want to do the things we want them to get good at, none of these skills are viewed as typically beneficial for your dog. So this is where we want to, again, have those bank accounts, nice job, where we're depositing into almost, again, whatever gets reinforced typically gets repeated. So that's what you're hoping to do is go from being, again, like the Coke or the snack machine where every time they put in their dollar, they got their goodie. You want to go from that to turning into the slot machine, where later down the road, yes, it might be intermittent, but they're going to keep playing because at times they won really big, sometimes maybe very little, sometimes not that much at all, but the potential for winning is there. So in the beginning, definitely reinforce as you're doing every little step, and then eventually intermittent, or you could also use different types of reinforcements to reinforce the skills you love. So for example, exploration or going and being able to go sniff, again, should be very much so part of your everyday routine anyway. But sometimes you can use it as extra moments for decompression or to give them something to do instead of the behavior you're not liking. So sometimes if your pup gets really excited seeing something off in the distance, asking them to go sniff or go explore instead can be a great way to diffuse your dog's focus off of something else onto relaxation. So find it's in the grass could be a great option, going and sniffing in general so they can go to the restroom or go just explore the smells that are available to them. Another great way to also reinforce all the good. Rennie? Nice. So again, we might say again, with me, or this could be heel, or let's go. If he gets a little excited and he tends to go past you, I just like to do a little U-turn and then feed again while he's by the side of me. So if let's say he tends to go at a faster rate, remember you don't always have to have them next to you. So I would also find it completely acceptable, and I do recommend it, is to allow your dog to be on a longer lead so they can go ahead and be a bit ahead of you or to the side in a safe environment to do so, and allow for the go sniffy moments throughout the whole walk. So remember, the walk should also be for them as well as us. So if your dog really enjoys the sniffing, that should be a big chunk of your walk. Because a lot of times they get to see their whole world through their sense of smell the way we do visually. So if we don't allow him to have that part of the venue, he's almost walking through the environment blindfolded. And it's a very sad world for a dog to not be able to go sniff. It also is more mentally and physically enriching for them, and they would probably get more exertion in the sense of getting tired from being able to sniff the first few zones than to go for a big walk where no sniffing was involved. See, he's just grabbing a drink real quick. Ready? Kugel, come. Nice. What a good job, sir. So just remember that the walk should be for both. If it's only us trying to go from point A to point B and our dog is struggling, or we are not enjoying the walk because the dog is very exuberant or having a hard time with something, remember, like I mentioned on Tuesday for Mr. Z, is go to an environment where you can be just watching and be part of the bubble, but then be off to the side so you can work on skills at your puppy's comfort range and rate. Because if it's always just trying to go from point A to point B, but your dog does not yet know how to walk softly on gear, how to check in, or how to stay comfortable when things get harder or too exciting, those would be things we need to work on before adding the novelty of going through lots of new zones and spaces on our walk, because then that tends to overwhelm and it starts to build on them. And then eventually you may have found, okay, it was starting out okay, we got a little happy middle, and then maybe they get overtired and now everything is falling away for quality and for comfort range. Nice job. Ready? Find it. So with Mr. K, he's like, he didn't see it again. Ready? We'll do one that shows up a little bit better. Find it. So, but for Mr. K, he's really doing a splendid job. Do feel free to, guys, if there's certain things that pop up throughout the week and you're like, oh my gosh, I never thought about this, but could we try this as well? I know you had mentioned you were hoping to teach him how to do the ball. Sort of he loads the ball and it launches the ball automatically. So definitely feel free. I know today your friends dropped him off because you had something else to work on and that was fine. But maybe for the next Tuesday or Thursday before his session's over, you could bring one of the items or the thing you were hoping to work on and we can try it. So, but for Mr. K, he's doing a really nice job in the program. So I just keep rocking and rolling and just make sure at home, if there are certain things he's still struggling with, it could be, again, even though he is an adult dog, he's still a youngster sort of. So make it where to our best ability, puppy proof it to our most possible setup. So that way Mr. Handsome can keep working on the chews or items you'd prefer him to gnaw on. But really, in general, very nice job he's doing, our handsome guy. So ready? We'll do another little find it. We'll call it a day for Mr. K and give him a little rest.